Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail. Wow. Hey, everybody. It is so great to be connecting with all of you again. I love having Glenna Rice in the house. And, you know, why is it? Because this is really what happens when you're so plugged into the question. And, you know, this for me, this is kind of cool because I know that I would not even be here talking to any of you if I wasn't in this place of not even knowing what I didn't know. I really was at that place in 2003 where, and then in 2004, where I was struck by the chaos in my life, just struck. I mean, there are a handful of times that I can count on what that means, like one hand, where chaos has shown up in my life in a way that it immobilized me. Today's show with the questionable parent, Dr. Glenna Rice. What would change if you added some chaos to your life? What would change if you added some chaos to your life? Yep, you heard that right. Write the call-in number down, 1-800-930-2819. Also, you can go to transformationtalkradio.com and put your question right in there, and we'll get you on here. Think about this. Are you having a hot flash now, you guys? Well, okay, the women, hot flash, men, I'm not sure what you might be having. Maybe Benny could fill us in. But are you working really hard, ordering everything into your life, into a particular place? Are you working hard, like 24/7? And then when you're not physically working, is your mind working? It's like, what can I get in order? You know, do I have, listen, we even work at putting our underwear in order, color coding them, and thinking if it doesn't happen, the entire roof is going to cave in on us. Well, we're not going to talk about underwear today. Well, I don't know. But Glenna Rice is joining us here today. I love taking this journey with Dr. Glenna Rice because, you know, when she started taking this journey with us, you know, she wasn't quite Dr. Glenna Rice, but she's every bit of it now. Why? Because the questions that she asks are questions that lead to a new level of awareness, which perhaps might lead to a new level of action, which perhaps might lead to a new passion, a new purpose, and what might lead to joy, peace, abundance. Yeah, just might. For many of you know that Dr. Glenna is an access consciousness facilitator. She travels all around the world in the most incredible ways. She helps people right up close and personal. She helps them on her telecalls. She helps them on her private sessions. She helps them in large groups. And she helps them understand the power and the purpose to access consciousness. Glenna, it's great to have you here. Love having you. Love the topic.
Love the topic. Love being on. So grateful to be on the show today. And I'm really excited about what we're talking about, about chaos and order. It's a new conversation we've been having in Access for maybe 4 or 5 weeks this week.
Yep.
Maybe it's a little longer. Time is very strange for me.
Yep.
And, you know, access consciousness is about accessing your awareness of everything. And the things that stop us from accessing what we're aware of that will allow us to change things is, you know, judgments, points of view, conclusions, decisions about anything, and then nothing that doesn't match those you can ever see or even be able to be aware of. So when you get rid of your judgments, you start to have awareness of everything. And from that awareness of everything, you can start asking questions, which I talk about all the time on the show, for the things you would like to change or add to your life, and what you'd like to create. But we're starting to see that all of these judgments, decisions, conclusions, and all of that are actually where we are ordering our life, where we create orders, like we give ourselves an order, and we create the order that starts to stop everything. And where the real magic of change and generation and creation comes from is being this energy that's chaos. And this energy that's chaos is something that is judged as something wrong or something that we don't want around, or when things are chaotic, it's a bad thing. But actually, when we are being this energy of chaos, which is the energy that doesn't have things ordered, then everything is available to you to start using to create from. You can start accessing everything from that place of chaos. And when I first started hearing this, when I first started talking about it, it's like, wow, okay, I can see where everything I've ever created that's been great in my life, from as back as I can remember, was when I was being this energy of being open to all awarenesses about what I could use to start creating with. You know, when I was in school and going to grad school, or, you know, creating dance when I was younger, all those times when it was incredibly creative was when I was being chaos.
Yeah. You know, I referenced a point in time in my life where, I hadn't really thought about chaos, but it clearly was. I mean, it was a whole new level of chaos for me. You know, it wasn't the chaos that, and we're going to talk about what chaos is today too, Glenna, and thank you for the topic. But it was a level of chaos that I could not even imagine for myself. When your body gets into that place where now it is in chaos, that is a whole new level of conversation and dialogue that for somebody like me, I've never had to have that level of chaos. Chaos was something I was quite familiar with, but not this one, and not at that level. Can you help us understand what chaos is? Because sometimes it happens and we don't even recognize it's going on.
Yeah, I think that we've probably misidentified what chaos is a lot of times, especially with the body. And it's really a new conversation and a new way I'm starting to look at body. But when we're in a state of dis-ease or disease, we actually have given our bodies orders to be that way. Like we are ordering our body. And often that it's the chaos energy of our body. Because our body creates that way. It creates itself from this peace and space that chaos actually is. And when we start to order it, that creates the peace state. Now, this is kind of like 180 degrees opposite of how we usually talk about chaos. We usually talk that our body's all in a chaotic state when it's not healthy, but it's actually more of an ordered state when it's in that, when it's actually functioning from great health, ease, peace, strength, and vitality. Those are when it has that chaos as part of, you're allowing it to have the chaos that it truly is. Our bodies are chaos. They're creating all the time from that energy. Almost all creation comes from this energy. Order is where you put everything in place and stop creation. Does that make sense? I know it's so different than most of us think about what chaos is.
It does make sense. It does make sense, and it makes sense in so many ways that's why it's important. Today's show is so important. I mean, chaos is something that we're starting to see more and more in the world. And why are we starting to see it, but we don't call it chaos? Well, we don't really want to go into the place of identifying it because there's a level of denial, I think, Dr. Glenna, a level of denial about it that we're very comfortable with. The second part is we don't really know quite what to do with it. So we don't really know what you're about to share with us today. We don't really know that chaos may be a portal to get us from where we are today to really actually where we want to go. Now, I look back at my life and I see that the chaos in 2004 is exactly what was needed to keep me on the path that I was on. The radio show, Transformation Talk Radio, and now transformationradio.fm. All of that, including solutions that, thanks to you and the folks at Access, helped us stay in the question of what else is possible. Otherwise, we would have just created another radio network just like every other radio network, which is not actually what our listeners and what our hosts and co-hosts want. But how is it that chaos, what doors does it open? What if the world of chaos presented us with the energy of unlimited possibilities? What if that was the case, Dr. Glenna? Then what would we have to do to tap into it.
Yeah, that is what it is. It is the place of infinite, unlimited possibilities. It's funny because if you go to the dictionary, it's like the infinity of space or matter that preceded the existence of an ordered universe. I mean, that's what chaos is, like the place where the universe was ordered from. It's where creation comes from. It's where, when we ask the question, like you said with your radio show, what else is possible, you're asking for chaos to start instilling chaos into your life, to start creating what's possible, to start being aware of what's possible, and starting to see what the action steps you actually would have to take to start creating the things you're asking for. But it's not until you ask the question and have that space and energy that's chaos can you even start seeing that. It's like this is the energy of the question we've been talking about in Access for, Gary Douglas, the founder, has been talking about it for 25 years, and he is so excited. I mean, you can go to Facebook right now and look at different radio, little video clips they're put on it. Dr. Dane Here and Gary had put up talking about this. You can just click on there, search their name on Facebook. Because they're so excited about seeing like this, something they talked about, having this such more awareness about what the energy actually is.
Yeah. And, when we come back from break, I want to talk about, wait a minute, if I have this now happening and I have this coming on and I have this being presented in front of me, how is it possible to create order? Or is order already being created and we need an awareness of it? That's why Dr. Glenna Rice is joining us here today, because we're going to get to that, all of the above. Also, we're going to let you know where Dr. Glenna Rice is going to be. She's going to be, many places, including India, Tokyo, San Francisco, Denver, all of the above. We're going to let you know all about that and about some of the phenomenal new ways that Access Consciousness is bringing the conversation to people all over the world. Also, we're going to tell you about the Questionable Conversations series that Glenna does and much more. Take a short break, everyone. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Transformation Talk Radio is dedicated to the education and awareness of Lyme disease.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Lyme Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Pat, joined here by
Dr. Nusheen Darvish.
Dr. Pat Basili and Dr. Nusheen Darvish will be bringing the most innovative, groundbreaking information, research, treatment innovations, and stories from those it affects every day.
I'm so excited to be talking about this.
We have so much to share.
Dr. Darvish and I are planning to do is connect the dots.
People suffering with all sorts of chronic diseases, it's time. It is time for them to transform.
Tune into Lyme Talk Radio and help keep our mission strong.
For the loyal listeners out there that have been listening to this incredible show on Lyme disease, we are not going to let you down. We're going to come through stronger and enrich the platform for Lyme disease awareness through Lyme Talk Radio. The message will continue, the conversations will become stronger, and the healing epic.
Are you feeling stagnant or blocked in your love life, career, health, or finances? Experiencing difficulty focusing or setting and achieving goals? Tune in to Spiritual Diagnostics Radio with psychic visionary healers Carol Dorian and Suzanne Evans. Discover the cause and effect of unwanted patterns in life. Tune in every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. For more information, visit spiritualdeed.com.
Are you searching? Looking for a sign? A message you need to hear? From the great unknown, from the most mysterious place that is the most familiar to your soul in the depths of who you are. The universe put someone here to talk to, someone God gave a blessing to, that you may find insight with. TheAngelLady.net, 1-800-323-1790.
Calling all Intuits, healers, and readers, you are invited to the Women of Wisdom Fall Festival. Join us as we celebrate the bounty of our Mother Earth on October 1st at North Seattle Community College. We're looking for a variety of practitioners and experts in the art of energy healings, intuitive readings, and bodywork. If you are a reader, healer, or an artisan selling handmade arts and crafts, we invite you to share your gifts with the Women of Wisdom community. Go to womenofwisdom.org to apply.
There are so many resources out there for meditation. But did you know that Atana's Heart Earth Healing Meditation is available for you for free? Yes, that's right. You can receive this free healing meditation today from Atana Badili. All you need to do is visit his website, atanamethod.com. That's ATAANA method.com, and sign up. You will receive your free meditation instantly. That's atanamethod.com.
Are you ready for a game changer? Sarah Westall is bringing you Business Game Changers Radio. Sarah brings you leading experts, visionaries, and newsmakers who provide the best commentary on big issues and cutting-edge innovations. Sarah's 20 years as a business executive will help you think like an entrepreneur with expertise, energy, and attitude. Tune into Business Game Changers Mondays at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It's so great to be connecting with all of you. What would change if you added some chaos to your life? Dr. Glenna Rice joining me here today. And by the way, let me tell you that you could find out more about Glenna by going to glennarice.com. But also, Glenna, there is also another way for people to find you at Access Consciousness. Can you tell them how to do that? And let's tell folks about how they can connect and be part of the new special series you're doing.
Yeah, that's great. So you can go to drglennarice.accessconsciousness.com, and then right there you can look up all the scheduled classes I have upcoming, which I do have quite a few. I am traveling all over the world. I'm going to leaving for India tomorrow, and I'm going to Estonia in October, Tokyo, Japan, Kansas City. I'm doing the Energetic Synthesis Structural Embodiment class, which is now I'm seeing more and more about with this chaos conversation. It's this manual body technique with all the access tools, questions, and ways of being that is actually creating or contributing or instilling the chaos into bodies to change these frozen, stuck, hard, unmovable places we have, because that's actually what's required to change the way we've ordered our body into these points of views, like it needs to get old, or it needs to get stiff, or it can't do this movement, or can't do this activity. So that class is coming up all over the planet. Also, the body classes I teach. And yes, this Questionable Conversations is a monthly telecall I've been doing for quite a while, and this year we did specialty 3-month telecall series, and the one we just did, Bodies in Movement, today actually is the final day of those 3, and that you can still register. You can find that at drglennarice.com. And then the next one that's starting up next month is Bodies in Aging, and with this new chaos order information, I am so excited about what we're going to change with that, because so much about aging is creating the order of your body to, you're ordering it to age. And what's possible if we can start changing that? Because chaos is where you create your body when you're young, and what if we had more of that available throughout our lives, however long we want to be on this planet.
Yeah. Somebody said something to me the other day. I started playing table tennis again, and actually now quite a bit. I worked my way up to be able to play, let's say, 3 to 4 hours on Saturday and another 3 hours on Sunday. And so Glenna, you got to help me with this, because we're going to talk about chaos and order, right? So I didn't get the memo. That at my age, I shouldn't be able to play table tennis at the level that I'm playing. I did not get that memo. And so what happens to me is the place I go to play, there's an age requirement, meaning you have to be a certain age. And so somebody said to me, I don't know that you're supposed to be playing here. You're supposed to be blah, blah, blah years old. And I said, seriously? I said, I'm like a member here, okay? What are you talking about? The guy looked at me and said something like, it's not possible. That's language like that, right? It's not possible. And so what he was commenting about was the way I was playing. But I think it was like I think he was trying to have a compliment right there or something go on, or I'm not sure where he was going with it. But nobody told me that age was going to affect the level by which I play. Now, I mean, I hope that what you're talking about doing is giving us different questions around this.
Absolutely, because see that's the memo you're talking about is the order. That's the order from that person or from wherever we get our memos from. When we don't get the memo, we don't even know where it came from. But these orders we have, like, oh yeah, you're not supposed to be able to play this sport or this activity at a certain age. And there's always people breaking out of the box and showing that that's not true. That's just some story people are putting out there. It's being the question and choosing. And your body, when it's doing a sports activity at that level or just learning one, it's the energy that chaos is that you create that from. If you try to catch a ball or hit a, ping pong ball really quick across the table, thinking about it and ordering your body into a certain way of moving, it won't work. It just won't work. Your body has to be able to be ahead of the game in this energy. And one of the things chaos doesn't have is time. Time is an element of order. It's order and controls and force that create, controls and force and time that create order. But chaos doesn't have that energy of time in it. So you can be ahead of the game knowing where your arm is going to move to hit that ball that's coming at you really fast across the table, ahead of the game, not in the moment of time, but ahead of in the future of where you need to be. And you can only do that from the energy of being chaos.
Yeah. I love this topic for a lot of reasons. When we hear the word chaos, remember at the beginning when I was introducing you, I said the word chaos and I said, yeah, are you about ready having a hot flash right there? But there's something that we've built into our consciousness that chaos has gotten a really bad name. Really bad name. Really bad.
Yep.
And, I gave one example. I can give you several other examples of what we're referring to as chaos, how that opened the doors. Let me give you one specifically, and then you can jump off from here. How about getting fired from a job after 24 and a half years? You want to talk about chaos. Let's talk about being 6 months away from a full pension and being downsized in a world that you never thought would ever happen. But what happens out of that chaos? Clearly, my story, Glenna, is as my boss is firing me, all I could think about, I wonder if Columbia still has my application. And off I went. Can you help us? Can you help us begin to correct? Wow, that was Freudian. Begin to connect the dots so that we get these energies of life creation from that shows up.
Yeah, so when you get, it's funny because the hundreds of people that I've talked to that have been fired from jobs, me one time, I was fired once. When you ask them the question, did you actually enjoy that job? It's usually a no. We never get fired from a job we actually enjoy. But usually we're such good employees or good workers that we would never quit. So the only way to create ourselves getting out of the job is to get ourselves fired. And when you start looking from that point of view, then it's not something that's wrong. It's actually something that's going to create more for your future. If you can see that point of view, if you lock in the order that is a wrongness, getting fired is terrible, and you lock that order into your life and that judgment, then you can't see what's possible, what's showing up, and you can't instill the chaos into that change that will start contributing to creating a greater future for you, because you've got this order in place that doesn't allow the change that chaos is when you instill it to be available to you. So yes, for all the listeners, if you've ever been fired from anything, ask yourself truth. Did I actually enjoy that job?
Yeah.
Just see what the awareness is for you. And that may free you up. That can free you up so much when you have that awareness. Because the other job, I was bartending in Edmonds, Washington, and late nights, not the greatest clientele. Money was fabulous. I loved the money. And I got fired. And I went home and cried. Oh, my gosh, what a terrible thing to happen. And I think within 2 days, I had another job waitressing. Some of you guys may know that in Seattle, Anthony's Home Port. But it was a huge step up from the bar I'd been working at. Now I was a waitress in a very nice restaurant, making twice the money, and it was probably within 3 or 4 days I had that job. So, yeah, I was creating a total change in my reality. The universe was contributing, and if someone had given me that question, I probably wouldn't have went home and cried that night. I probably would have had a little happy dance.
Yeah, And, isn't it interesting? My whole life changed from that experience. And then, connecting the dots to take action. When we come back, I want to talk about, this idea of having chaos as if it were this thing that we have to mentally and psychologically kind of go through. Just go through it. You'll come out at the other side. Just go through the pain. You'll come out at the other side. But I got to tell you, we don't really stop and say, well, wait a minute. What Dr. Glenna Rice is saying to us, what if this were a time of creation? What if this were a way that the creative forces of the universe were enabling us to really hold on, fasten our seatbelt, and have be the most innovative, imaginative, creative time in our lives? What if chaos was really creativity? Stay tuned. We're going to take a short break, and we come back more with Dr. Glenna Rice. You could go to drglennarice.accessconsciousness.com, get our whole schedule. You could also go to glennarice.com. And by the way, if you have missed any of the shows that we have done together, they're all available. They're on YouTube, they're on iTunes, they're on Transformation Talk Radio, they're on the Dr. Pat Show. Yeah, they're pretty much everywhere. We're going to take a short break. Are you ready? Chaos, creativity. Nope, that's not an oxymoron. We'll be right back.
You don't know how you met me, you don't know why you can't turn around and say goodbye. All you know is when I'm with you, I make you free and swim through your veins like a fish in the sea.
It's that time of the year again. The Women of Wisdom Fall Harvest Festival is right around the corner. Join us on October 1st from 10:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. at North Seattle Community College Conference Center. Admission is free. Festivities include arts and crafts, energy healers, intuitive readers, delicious food, and more. Don't miss this fun-filled event. For more information, visit womanofwisdom.org. That is womanofwisdom.org, and we'll see you there.
Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm telling you, I got to pinch myself some days, because when each of us gets called to do something that we so not thought was in our wheelhouse to do for a purpose that's so much greater than us, we get to show up and shine.
If you would like to show up and shine on the Dr. Pat Show as a co-host or sponsor, send us an email to inspire@thedrpatshow.com.
Tune in to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly Neff. This hit show will illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. Renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake to the greatest version of yourself. Learn to tap into your intuitions, think critically about our world, heal emotional and psychological wounds, and follow your passions to live your dreams. The Lucid Planet. Welcome home. Visit lucidplanetradio.com for more information.
Tune in to The Michael Shane Show, the third Tuesday of each month at 11 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com, and connect with the ascended beings to raise your vibration and manifest the life you desire. Get ready to receive healing through the transphysical mediumship of Reverend Michael Shane and the ascended beings. Visit MichaelShane.com. That's MyChael, Shane.com, and call 425-971-6632 to schedule your full healing session now.
Do you keep attracting the same type of guy over and over? Do you believe all of the good guys are taken and you might be single forever? Hi, my name is Deb Acker, and in addition to being the host of Truth Talk Radio, I'm an intuitive life coach and energy healer. I clear energy blocks to all areas of life, including love. Did you know that many times the thing that keeps us attracting the same type of person is energy related? What if you could complete this pattern for good to attract conscious, loving men? Don't think it's possible? Several years ago, this is where I was, and I went on a journey to figure out how to undo this for myself, and I now help others with this. I love helping clients clear this pattern for good to have the love they so desire and deserve. If this resonates for you and you're ready to be truly done attracting the same type of person, I'd love to gift you with my pattern identification session. Simply contact me on the contact page of my website, DeborahAcker.com. That's DeborahAcker.com. And let me know you heard about this gift through Transformation Talk Radio. I look forward to connecting soon.
girls who adore you. Just go ahead now. One has diamonds in his pockets, and that's some bread now. This one said he wants to buy you rockets. Ain't in his head now.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's so great. Dr. Glenna Rice is in the house. And you know what? You're probably thinking, wait a minute. I would love to know more about how chaos. How do I recognize it? How do I see it? How do I create the kind of things we're talking about? Like before the break, right? Chaos to creativity. And Dr. Glenna has got some information on how we can get plugged in. It's crazy good. Tell us how all of us can do this.
To have more awareness of the chaos.
Yeah, and how we can learn more about it.
Yeah. Well, one of the things besides this show, and I'll talk more about it just so, because I need to get this out here because it's so exciting. Dr. Dane here is doing a live stream class. It's live streamed from San Francisco on September 30th. So in a few weeks, it's coming up. It's called The Taste of Being Chaos. It's an introductory access workshop that you can watch from the comfort of your home live, or if you want to come and fly to San Francisco, I would be so excited to meet you. Open to anyone, no prerequisites. It's an evening show, starts around 7 o'clock. So you can go to drdanehere.com/tasteofbeing to find more information about that, or accessconsciousness.com to find out about that evening introductory taste of being. It's like a taste of being you. We wrote the book Being You, Change the World, and it's all from that. But this is going to be one that's really specifically about this topic of chaos. So I'm really excited about that. And then you were just asking about how do we recognize chaos? How do we become aware of that? Well, we've judged it so much that when our lives start being this energy that's chaos, we start to make it wrong. And then we start to prove that we're not chaos, beings of chaos, these magicians that create from chaos. We start to prove it by making everything bad, everything about it as something that's bad that's happening. Oh, my God, my life is so chaotic, or so much chaos, I couldn't handle it. I was so uncomfortable with all the chaos that was around me. We start saying those things so we don't recognize what we really be. The energy of what we be as these infinite beings, these creative, magical beings that are walking on this beautiful planet, is this energy that's chaos. If you stop creating it from a wrongness and start to recognize, wow, okay, so how much chaos can I actually instill right now into this creation so I start generating it in a way that works for me? And a lot of this stuff that we're calling chaos is actually more of disorder, where things are ordered and are starting to change from being ordered to something else, and we are trying to hold on to the order.
Yeah.
So if we started letting go of that, order is not a wrongness either.
No.
Both of them are required. You want to have a coherence between order and chaos. Like, how much order is required here? How much chaos is required? How much can I instill into this creation or this problem to create a change that works for me? And then one of the other things that's part of this whole conversation is organization, which is a little different than order, because order is more solid. Something that's organized changes all the time. We were talking on the break a little bit about that messy desk syndrome, which a lot of people have. Really creative people often have a desk full of papers. And part of what we do with that is that trying to prove that we don't create from this chaos and we create our life as chaos. So if you start to organizing that way of being in your life, like organizing your closet or your schedule or your desk, what you do is you start to create more ease. Like, what organization can you put into your life that will create more ease with you creating some chaos, or creating with chaos, or being chaos? So how can I have my desk organized so it creates more ease when I need to find things? And it's funny, just from that conversation, my shoes got organized in my closet in about 3 minutes. There's a whole bunch of stuff where I'm just going, oh, I need to organize this, and it's happening really, really quickly. It's like I can create more ease so I can create greater if I organize certain things that are in my life. And it's not creating order, it's creating an organization, a system that helps me create more. Different way of looking at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't the hardest part about chaos the discomfort we feel, Glenna? And let's talk about that discomfort a minute, because it shows up in many ways. Let's talk about, if we could, the many ways our bodies react to chaos. Even if we can't put a label on it, we have a visceral reaction sometimes, right? And, this is really the area of work you do, especially when we're talking about the body. Our body knows. How about breaking out in a sweat? I mean, how about doing that? Just that thing right there. Or how about your eye twitching? I mean, or how about you can't sit still in the chair without your leg moving? Or how about just avoiding the situation, avoiding the movie theater? You know what I'm saying? We literally take ourselves out of the picture, and we don't know we're doing it.
Yeah, a lot that uncomfortableness. Like, what if being uncomfortable was fun? And what if all those things that your body does is just information it's giving you, and it's not a problem, and it's not a wrongness, and it's not something terrible? And this is where being a question is so valuable. To all the people I work with bodies, like those, like an eye twitch. Like, okay, if my eye twitches, which it does, my body does crazy stuff because I don't put a lot of order into it. I don't control it very much. I let it give me the information all the time. It gives me information about the bodies I'm working on, about the world around me, and all of that is something that's really fun for me to have. So if my eye twitches, I ask a question. I go, wow, what information are you showing me? What am I not seeing? What are you trying to get me to see? A whole bunch of different questions I could ask with that. Is it even my eye twitching, or is it an awareness of the person that's coming to see me for my next appointment? Like, it's made my physical therapy business and what I can do with bodies, exponentialize when I started listening to my body's communication. And that's being chaos, being this energy of chaos. I don't order it to look and act a certain way in this reality. I allow my body to be how it would like to be, because then I get more information. And funny thing is, I have not been sick in all the years I've been doing Access. I've had moments here and there, and that was always some change that was going on or information. And believe me, before Access, before I found this, these tools and questions, getting sick and having a cold was not an unusual thing for me to have, or my kids. And it's by not ordering it, like when you get, let me see if I can explain this.
Yeah.
When you get like a sore throat, start to feel the energy of a sore throat, we immediately will go into this place where, oh my God, I'm getting sick. And then you'll go back into the past and say, oh yeah, I did get a lot of sleep the other night. I didn't eat really good food. I forgot to take my vitamin C. Or I was around this person that was coughing in the subway. I must have caught their cold. All these points of view that are going to, give us this reason and justification of how we're going to order this thing we just felt in our throat into this thing we're familiar with, of getting the cold. Well, when I feel something in my throat, it's like, okay, cool, what's that? What are you telling me? Who does that belong to?
Right.
Is that mine? What information are you giving me? And it's never gone onto a cold once since I've had that question, ever, in years and years and years. Like the first time I did it was my father had something going on in his throat, and my mom texted me sometime right after I had asked this question. I went, oh, that's what I'm perceiving. And my dad's in another state. I'm in California. He's in Nevada. It's not like we were around each other. But there's been a multitude of different energies and awarenesses and information about that my body is giving me. And it's never turned into, I've never ordered it into a cold. I've allowed it to continue to create from this chaos. Now, it's like a little twist to have to go into that question before you go into the whole, head trip of all the things that might have created a cold. But if you can get there first and allow the chaos to be, you'll be really surprised. Just a question, body, what's that? Is that ours?
Yeah. And, can you address perhaps the question about where we have this idea that chaos is so permanent? You know what I'm saying? It's like, what if chaos was temporary? See, you know what I mean? It's like, we say things like, my life is chaotic, like my entire life, right? I mean, that label in itself is enough to, just saying it on air makes me a little bit like, I'm a little bit scared right here with that.
Well, what if it was fun if your life was chaotic? And what if it didn't look like what we decided life was chaotic? I mean, it's kind of like my life is chaotic is really how much are you trying to order everything? It's creating all of this, frustration in your universe because you are chaos and you're trying to order it into place, and you're also asking for change, and it's all happening and you're not acknowledging it. Wonder if that could create it easier. My life is chaotic. Okay, so how much order am I trying to put on the chaos that's actually available for me to create with right here? And how much of that can I change? And chaos it is, I wouldn't say permanent, but it is a state that we be. That is the energy that we be, is this energy of having everything available to create from. And we use it more at certain times and less at other times. And it's this ordering of things that should have this creation element in it that stops us. And that's probably more of the uncomfortableness and the frustration. I mean, I've always had this conversation about change where people are like, oh, change is so uncomfortable. It's like, no, change is what you be. You can't, that's what you be. Stopping change is is the uncomfortableness. So is stopping chaos what's uncomfortable about that?
I know that you do so much great work in the world. Let's talk a little bit about what I alluded to about my own journey in 2004. Chaos, disease, limitations for the body, aging. See, what sounds like a common sense answer is chaos causes this, right? That's what sounds like is your go-to answer. But I think you've got a different perspective. I'd love to skip the break, Benny. I think you've got a different perspective, and I would love for you to share this with us so that we understand, what if I were to change the question I ask about this moment I'm in, which I see as chaos?
Yeah. Well, the question that I'm using right now is how much chaos can I instill into this to create everything I desire, everything I'm asking for, or to create more, however you want to end that, whatever you are asking for. And what that does when I ask that question and things that are feeling kind of crunchy in my universe is a peace shows up and an ease shows up and more space is available and my body calms down, which is really opposite of what we think chaos is. I think a part of us proving all the time that chaos is a bad thing is more of what we are feeling in our bodies and creating in our life, because we're not really acknowledging how we have this wonderful energy to use to create with. We're denying it, but it's there at the same time. It's kind of like when you tell your body it's sick and it's actually changing, your body gets really confused, and it doesn't know which one to do. It's like, okay, I know I'm changing because you just asked me to change this thing, and now you're telling me I'm sick. And your body's like, which one do I do for you? So if we're creating from chaos and at the same time saying chaos is bad, how confusing is that to all of our creations? Like the creations are going, okay, well, I've got all this chaos to extrapolate from and pull bits and pieces from, but you're telling me it's bad, but you want me to create this thing, and the only way to create it is to have chaos energy available, and then you're telling me it's a wrongness, so what do your creations do? That feels pretty uncomfortable, confusing, and kind of insane. And when you instill this energy of what chaos can instill, there's a peace that shows up. That surprised me the most. Like, wow, chaos is actually peace and ease. And there's been some new body processes and access that we've added in that's instilling chaos. You can get those in the 3-day body class I teach. And what people were getting them up off the table after receiving these energetic body processes, their hands-on in energy, is they were just like, I've never had more peace in my body. Yeah. I've never had, like, that mind-head stuff that goes on all the time. It's like trying to make a thought that would make a conclusion about anything became harder, which created more possibilities. It was there was 100 people in the class, and they were all just, oh, my gosh, I feel amazing. It's a new conversation.
Isn't it interesting that we get into shock when we feel amazing? Isn't that also a shift that's required? We're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. But, you're out there, and the message you bring forth is this doesn't have to be the exception, right?
No.
And that's really the change of perspective that we're really talking about here, too.
It can be wonderful. What is exactly what you're asking for and what you've been wanting to create? This reality is so funny about how much it values being uncomfortable, being sick, working hard, having a struggle and a life that's full of sacrifice and all this other stuff. And is that really what we require? Is that what we really want? But we certainly spend a lot of time doing it. And Access, me, all the people, Dr. Dane, Gary, we were all talking about what if life was easy? I mean, the mantra of Access is all of life comes to you with ease, joy, and glory. Not pain, stress, and hard work.
Right.
So, everything's the opposite. So if you're, having a life that's ease, you create more stuff shows up. You're actually busier, but there's not that stress and uncomfortable component in it. When it's ease, it's like things just come to you magically. And it's because you're asking to have that they can get to you that way.
Yeah. Yeah. And, we call it magical. We call it miraculous. We call it so many different things, right? And yet there's a different question I think that you've asked us also to talk about as well. And it really is, what if the perspective we had is to literally expect our lives to be abundant without even thinking about that being the case? I mean, do you know what I'm trying to say? What if there was a way to experience joy regardless of what was going on in your life? And I'm not saying that that is something that has come easy to me, but I'm really clear today that it's possible.
Yeah. It's possible, and you don't see it very often, but it absolutely is possible. That's why that Access mantra it's like all of life. Everything that shows up, even if it feels like a crazy, disorganized, chaotic, insane, uncomfortable time, like all of your life can come to you with ease, with peace, with joy. It's definitely possible. It happens for me so much more. Like most of my life actually is that way, and I still have weird stuff. I still have to get my kid, from home from his last day of finals up home in a few hours, and he's moving into a new house, and I have to, do all the stuff you have to do. And that would have been at some point a kind of stressful day for me or for him. And it's actually, okay, this can come with ease. And the joy of seeing my son when he got off the plane. Wow, okay, there's joy in all of this. It's like changing your point of view. And the main thing is you have to choose that. It's a choice you make. What would it take to have a life that had joy? So all of my life came to me with joy, with peace, with ease, with possibilities. And choosing that is the first thing you have to do.
Yeah.
Choosing different possibilities. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, you get to meet people face to face. You get to connect with people, whether you're doing a Skype call or you're doing a webinar or a teleclass. What is it that you sense people are wanting more of? And, I know you're not going to tell us about a specific person you're working with, but there is sort of an energy about what seems to be on people's minds. And I think that's why we're talking about chaos. But where do you see the stuck point is?
Yeah, that's a great question. They come to, classes and workshops because they want something different. It could be they want more money, or they want to not be in pain anymore, or they want the relationship to work. Or they just saw a friend that's life totally changed. It's like, wow, I want that. What does she do? But there's usually something that's kind of really in this reality that they want to change, that they have a specific question about. And what they're really asking for, I find, is they want to be them. They want to have more of them. They want to be able to access the being that they are, the person that they are, that we tend to put so many orders on that we never actually get to see who we are. We create so many controls in our life to try to fit in. Like, a kid that's gone to college and done the college program his parents wanted him to do. Like, they went into engineering because that's what they were going to choose, because that's what their dad did and that's what their grandfather did. And then they see, oh, wow. Now, this is actually my son I'm talking about. I'd actually really like to do computer science, but I've already been doing it this certain way. And then choosing, wow, that is what was really going to bring joy to me. That's what I really see my future as. That's being me more than this other choice I was making. And changing it and having their lives explode. Like my son just changed his major, and what's happening in his world right and left is like surprising me every day. Like he's getting job offers for making websites and offers to work at the college. And it's like, okay, all of that was because he made a choice that actually created more for him, for who he was, for who he be. And Access has the tools for us to access what that is. And I didn't even know who I was. I was a mother with 3 kids.
I know.
Trying to do the perfect housewife life, and work full time with new babies. That wasn't me. I was actually this dynamic, creative woman who wanted to go all over the planet. Now I'm being me so much more, and how much more can I choose? So that's really what people are coming for, for whatever level they're choosing. It may only be just one class. They get a couple tools. Who does this belong to? They realize, oh, that pain in my back was never mine. Now they have more of them. Or it could be someone that comes like me for the class after class, because every class I get more of me still after 12 years.
I love that. I love that, because that's really the end game. Hey, listen, Lisa from Connecticut would love to chat with us. Mr. Benny, let's bring Lisa on. Hi, Lisa.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi.
Welcome
Thank
to the
you so
show.
much.
You bet. How can we help you? And I'd love to introduce you to my friend, Dr. Glenna Rice.
Hi, Lisa.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. I'm just wondering how to get unstuck in my life, or why I'm stuck and how to get unstuck.
I love this question.
Well, what is the stuckness?
I seem to be going down the same street and falling in the same hole.
All the time. So what do you love so much about that you keep creating? What do you like about it?
I don't know how I keep ending up there. I try to go a different way, and I end up back again in the hole.
I know. This is a weird question, because it's like somewhere you've made something about that valuable or vital or real to you, and you're not really aware of what that is, because it's something it's not working for you. You don't like it, but it keeps being created. So there's something about the creation of it that is valuable to you, and it's usually something really strange. So that's why I asked the question, what do you like about it?
Yeah.
Somewhere there's something about it works for you, even though it's not working for you anymore, and you want to change it. And if you can see what you like about the creation, where it works for you, or what is vital about the creation for you, then you can start undoing that piece and start asking for something different.
Yeah, I had to do that, Lisa, when I got sick. I had to ask that question when I got sick, and I thought, you got to be kidding me. I mean, it can't possibly something about this that's working for me. And what I realized there absolutely was, because I was kind of in the physical predicament I was in, what was actually working for me was I got to do the radio show and literally turn it into a career. It was a passion for me, but this is what I got to do. But here's what I discovered. I felt that if I was well, I would have no excuse that I could give my partner at the time and my friends for why I'm buying airtime.
Yeah.
That's what I discovered.
It can be that. Yeah, they're weird things like that. They're weird decisions or conclusions we have. So you can ask this question, what have I made so vital, valuable, and real about, what did you say, stepping in the hole or being stuck that keeps me from choosing something greater? And you can just ask that question, and then you can do this clearing statement, which you go to clearingstatement.com to find more about. We don't have time to go into it. But so everything I did, everything that is, everything you made vital, valuable, and real, everything that is, destroy and uncreate it all. Would you like to destroy and uncreate it all right now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Right and wrong, good and bad, hot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyond. And you'll start getting awarenesses of it, or stuff might change right away. And you can ask that every time you feel like you step in that hole or get stuck or hit that wall. Just go, what have I made so vital, valuable, and real about this that keeps me from creating what I'm asking for, or that keeps me from changing this? And then you do all that weird stuff Glenna said.
Glenna, how can Lisa work directly with you? If Lisa, if you want to really get unstuck, I'm going to recommend that you plug into some of the things we're mentioning here. But how can Lisa work directly with you? What's the best way for her to get a hold of you to do that?
Yeah, you go to drglennarice.com and you can find my email, or Glenna@glennarice.com is my email. Email me and we can set up the time for an appointment. I do Skype calls. I will be very busy the next week and a half in India, but we can see what's possible.
Yeah,
anyone that's out there in the air, I
Lisa. I do that. Because if you really want to get unstuck, sometimes we can't see the stuckness or the clarity of that, and getting help is the way to go. So, Lisa, did you get Dr. Glenna's email address?
Just brought it up. Thank you so much.
I would recommend doing it, because you know what? I know what stuckness feels like, and I could feel that this is not something you want to be part of your life anymore. So you've come to the right place.
Yeah.
Awesome. Glenna, again,
and
by the way, Glenna and I figured out what our next show is going to be about. Our next show is going to be about, did you get the memo? Maybe not. All right, everybody, stay tuned another hour on Transformation Talk Radio. Glenna, what a great job. We'll see you next time.
Lights go out and I can't be saved. Tides that I tried to swim against pulled me down upon my knees. Oh, I beg and plead, singing, come out of things unsaid. Shoot an apple off my head and a trouble.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.